Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
What do you have to tell the people about Rastafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. And left himself. Where's my ruler? Hey yo! Yeah. Hail them high, hail the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them comes without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill the lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, I strive, see sufferation, I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come if you tell them in Toronto, straight at it.
But before I get to Reggae, we're gonna jump in the Lion Talk time machine.
Okay.
We're gonna take it back to your childhood. You know, tell us about where you were born. Bring us back to when DC was the chocolate city. You know, we know it was called the murder capital. A lot of things that you have seen, you have been through. Bring us back to young Lidj. You know, where were you born? What was that like?
So it's kind of like what you asked me about is when they catch me this year at Rebel Salute, and it was on stage.
Yes.
I jump, and the thing you just explained is I'm jumping when Louis Culture singing. I've been through hills and valleys. I survived out of the old gangster alley.
In real life.
In real life.
Yes.
So yeah, growing up in Southeast DC, you know, it's funny today, Southeast is the Mecca, you know. People want to claim they was from Southeast. But I'm going to start also talking about the parallels of how I see it coming into reggae and Rastafari.
Okay.
For those who don't know Southeast, especially if you're a yardie or you have a love for Jamaica, in the dark side, Southeast would be a parallel to what some would say was Kingston. For us.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And not
Growing
just
up.
Kingston, but like Tivoli Garden, Rima, Jungle.
For us.
Yeah.
That's Southeast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I grew up in a place though called Linda Poland, Bellevue Street, Southeast. And my neighbor underneath me at this time was Little Benny, original from RAS.
Okay.
And this is like before RAS really even started, because him and my brother, them man in 6th grade, like at Washington Highline, and I don't know what this thing is, one light skin and one dark skin, but outside them man there, they have to fight every day.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what it was between Benny and my brother Sean. But yeah, so that was growing up in Southeast. You had to learn how to fight, you had to know how to fight. My mother though, she taught in the community center there, she taught charm school.
Okay.
To all the young ladies in the school. You know, they know her as Miss King.
Okay.
She's Miss Day now, but they know her, and she taught charm school. She's a lady even today, still teach Bible to kids over there, and little kids.
Okay.
So, and then me and my brothers grew up during that time. So this is the 70s, you know, early 70s.
I was gonna say, what year are we talking?
I'm born 1967, August 23rd, 67.
Give thanks.
Yeah.
So this is early 70s DC. This is before crack. This is a different time.
Yeah. So, and with music, while my mother was teaching charm school in a place called the Baptist Center, you probably know it because you know a bit about Southeast. Johannan Baptist Church sitting right up there on the top of the hill. When you're going up, I think it's Barnaby Road or one of them.
Okay.
That church right up there. That whole community there, there's Walter Washington Estates.
Yeah.
That was Linda Poland right there.
Okay.
You see, that was Linda Poland.
Okay.
So,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we used to learn music in there. My mother was on one side, and I was in the same room with all of the guys who were Red Essence original members. I was little with a guitar, and these guys was learning music then. That's before their name was Red Essence. So fast forward a little bit, go-go music break around the same time hip-hop was breaking.
Okay.
You know, John Master J even said one time, rest in peace, John Master J, Run DMC.
Yeah, man.
He even said one time that go-go music was just as big as hip hop. But as you say, go-go had its, what's the thing we were talking before we start?
What was that?
It has its engine
Yes.
to make hip hop go.
Yeah, the hip hop had the engine, the machine behind
The machine behind
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Go-go never had that, so go-go became and stayed right there localized. Born and raised right out of Southeast. Most of the early pioneers of go-go, the early Rare Essence and them got in from Ballou Senior High School.
Okay.
My high school, so that's where I graduated from.
Okay, and I live in this neighborhood today, but it's a bit gentrified. You know, I came with a black gentrification wave, so we didn't have the same reputation that the Southeast
Right.
that you grew up in. Tell me about Southeast in the 80s, because that must have been something to behold.
All right.
Because for those who don't know, Washington, D.C. was considered the murder capital of the United States during the 1980s when crack hit the city. It hit very hard. Tell us about growing up in an environment like this.
So there's a lot to tell, but I'm going to put it like this.
Yes.
When I'm sealing this, in the end of what I'm saying to you, you will see how Rastafari reggae music was always there for me.
Okay.
And y'all have a way for me.
Yes.
So if I talk about Southeast in them days, I don't really like to talk about it a lot, but I have to now.
Yes.
Because the story has to be told.
And that's it.
And it was very, very dark. You know, I personally myself have my mother have 7 youth. I'm the youngest of 6 boys. I have 1 sister younger than me. Okay? I have 4, so I'm the youngest son. I have 4 older brothers, man, dead. 2 of them murder. Gunshot, murders. 1 brother dead from AIDS and 1 brother from cancer. You understand? So at that time there, and anybody who ever experienced death of any kind of way, it affects you.
Of course.
When one of your loved ones gone, but to see somebody leave life and lose life like that. And I'm playing in the go-go hall. Because fast forward, you know, I'm growing up in the 80s. My mother, man. I usually don't tell people this. I'm a big boxing fan. When I was coming up with my brother before me, Sean, and I remember being like 3rd or 4th grade, we used to go to Hillcrest Heights boxing gym. I love boxing because one thing about boxing, if me and you fight in boxing, it's just who the best like that. When you fight on the street, once I get the best of you, your cousin and them see me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I never liked to fight on the street.
Yeah.
My brother Sean and all of them, they was good, but I like boxing and it was just fair to me. I like the structure. I don't have no problem to test you. But I don't.
Yeah, we're gonna test in the ring so we can see
if anything go wrong, we walk away. Exactly. And if I don't like it, I want to see you again tomorrow. I'll see you again tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how it was, but then it turned to crime and violence, and like I say, dark for me before Rastafari. When I tell you, say my brothers passed it gone to 2 were murdered. In the 80s, guys like my brother them was top of tops. Okay. My brother is the first man you ever seen up here, Timberland boots and the Super Tims, the brown ones.
Okay.
My brother went to HD Woodson, he didn't go to high. And Woodson always had a flair for being sharp, just a sharp. And them man, they uptowners and the money. As a Jamaican, you might can relate to it. And when we say dark and badness, no disrespect to nothing or nobody, but you would have known it, as I say, Kingston and Tivoli Garden. When I see the stories now, I hear about Showers Posse and these type of guys. You see what I mean?
And they were in DC.
They were in DC, so the money running around this time here. Money, it don't need to go down that road. We know the story. And if you are youth in DC from Southeast, anywhere in DC, it don't have to be Northeast, Northwest. If you in a ghetto, you mix up in it some kind of way.
It was just.
You understand?
Yeah, man. It was
I carry in the trash bags and the boxes and I become scientist. I know about school. I graduate high school and 2 years late because I'm a big man on the street. All of my teachers, them in high school, who no right and them use this, or because I had a brother who on there. other man's side too.
Yes.
Any teacher who
Yeah. Them a link.
them a link.
Yes.
As the youngest brother, I know this.
Yes,
So
yes.
as a scholar, I don't have no respect for you. I know last night what you do.
What you did.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow, yes.
So, but my mother, and why I start life about my mother, from seeing her older sons, my mother was a lady who took me out the boxing gym and carried me down the hill with my little sister who was taking ballet. My mother buy me a pair of top shoes and carry me to the dance school. From me, and a teacher in Maryland told her early, because I started out in theater. I was always good on stage. I step on stage at 5 and recite the poem, and in the play I'm ready. It's like when I hit the stage, it's a natural. So one teacher tell her, because we moved to Maryland for a short time, and that's when my only brother who I have lived now, he catch his first charge in Maryland. He gone to Upper Marlboro, he catch 8 years. And the next detective on the Maryland side tell my mother about my brother Sean, say, I just can't catch him. He's slippery. But I'm telling you, I got a cell waiting on him. And tell that to my mother. So my mother, boom, we going back to DC side now. We come back to the DC side. And come back in the DC side, you wouldn't know, not the friendship that's there now across from St. Elizabeth on Martin Luther King. The original friendship down by Eastover, the big brown school. Mentality now in education. You familiar with what I'm talking about? They might call it PR Harris or something.
I know the area.
You know the area. It's down there, Livingston Road. There's a school there. DC came with a thing called Open Space School. And when I moved back there, see, at that time, because it's so bad, if you don't go to school, you more or less go to Cedar Knolls or Oak Hill. These are juvenile detention centers. You know what I mean? When you come to Unruly for school, you grow up in Cedar Knolls and Oak Hill and them places there until you graduate from there and you gone to Lawton.
These are prison.
This is prison, jail. So as a youth now, you have to make up your mind early. If this is what you want to do or the direction.
Did you ever get arrested or touch the jail side of things?
No, because I know when to. Well, you know when it happened to me? It happened to me when I was a big man and I leave DC and I moved down south.
Don't jump the line. Don't jump the line.
We're not going to jump the line.